say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Present.
Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Rogers? Present. Trustee Suisse?
Present.
Trustee Treantafeles?
Present.
Trustee Variance is not here. Mayor Yukich?
Present. Okay. Are there any amendments to the agenda? None? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the July 27th, 2016 Village Board meeting?
I so move.
Trustee Suisse?
I'll second.
Trustee Drake? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor, say nay. I abstain. Mike abstains. Okay, so motion still carries. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of August 10th, 2016 Village Board meeting? So moved. Trustee Costa?
I'll second.
Trustee Suisse? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from August 24th, 2016 Village Board meeting?
I so move.
Trustee Suisse?
Second.
Trustee Drake? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I abstain.
Okay. Motion carries. Reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. First one for me, traffic alert for Bankston's Pumpkin Fest. It's opening this weekend. Bankston's Pumpkin Fest is opening this Saturday, September 17th. Residents should expect increased traffic in the vicinity of the farm, especially on 151st Street, between Parker and Bell Roads. Please drive with extra caution, as there will be an increased number of pedestrians. They're also closing. We're supposed to put signage up on Rosary Drive, so no more parks on that street to try to keep them out of the subdivision. Heritage Open House, with the assistance of the consultant. Planning Resources, the village is in the process of developing a master plan for Heritage Park, former Woodbine Golf Course. We invite you to attend the public open house on Tuesday, September 20th at 7 p.m. at the Village Hall, where we will be discussing potential uses for the property. The village welcomes and values your input on this important project. Please visit the village's website or call 708-301-0632 for more information. Household hazardous waste event will be held in the village of Glen in partnership with Will County. We'll host a household hazardous drop-off event on Saturday, September 24th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. here at the Village Hall. For a list of accepted items, please visit www.homeglenillinois.org. This event is open to Will County residents only. And I'd also like to let everyone know that if they can please start keeping the speed down. We're still having problems on a bunch of the streets in Homer Glen. It's getting darker early. We don't want anyone getting hurt. And then in November, the water agency going against American Water went to court 2 weeks ago. There was no finding on it. It's open right now, but we feel good about the end result. Everything should work out. We're setting up a forum to get as many residents from Homer Glen, Bolingbrook, Lamont, Romeoville, and Woodbridge, sorry. We're going to have it at the Lockhorn High School. It'll be held either on the 3rd, the 10th, or the 17th. We want to get some information out there so this way everyone has time to set aside to go there. We wanted to bring this before the ICC because American Water is going for another water rate. Plus, if you heard, Chicago's raising its rates on the water again, so that will be on top of the rates from American Water. So what we need, seeing Homer is actually the worst out of every participant with American Water, we need to get as many people there. Write down what your concerns are, because that's the only thing the ICC will look at. We can't go to the meeting, we can't have our own meeting, and they won't read anything that's general. They want the opinion from the residents. So like I said, we'll let you know next meeting, but the 3rd, the 10th, or the 17th, it'll be one of those. This way it's before Thanksgiving, before Christmas, when everyone gets in a rush. But I can't tell you how important it is we fill the whole auditorium. We'll hold 825 people, and I'd like to see if we can get 1,000. With that, we'll go to the trustees, and we'll start with Trustee Caprio.
Well, it's funny, I just saw that newscast, and they said $50 a year they were going to go up.
What they said right now, it's going to come up $54 right now to $54, because you got to remember, Chicago they didn't pay for the water.
Yeah.
Then by 2023, it's going to be at least $200 a month. So if it's going to be $200 in Chicago, it's going to be $700 here. So that's important to you all. Trustee Caprio.
Okay, reporting on behalf of the Parade and Festival Committee, I tried to, in a previous meeting, the consensus of the board to make sure that we can move, or at least consider moving the 2017 Homer Community Fest to the west parking lot here at the Village Hall. We're limited as to the amount of use that we could have on the township property as well as the adjacent property due to it being for sale. It's not a property that any of us own, nor does the township. We're envisioning moving the 2017 festival to the west parking lot, trying to get a pricing on the stone pad that we would need to put in to the north of that west parking lot for the carnival to be able to set up their equipment. We do understand there's going to be increased costs. The festival itself has been self-funding since we started it. We continue to hope that, and we know that the efforts that we put forth will continue to allow it to be self-funded. The festival next year is, I believe, the dates are June 27th through the 25th. I may be off on one of those dates. As we do understand there's going to be increased costs, we just want to be able to understand that we can proceed to at least look at the idea. If we choose to not move forward with looking at the idea, we would have to have some sort of agreement with the township to continue to host that event. We will work on both options. Our preferable option is to move it to the Village Hall, because that will be a permanent site, we hope, in 2018. We also hope to do this without the interference of PRI and them working on their park plan. We do understand that if we have fireworks, it's going to be in the middle of the golf course. We will make sure that we have a conversation with them to make sure that we're not interfering with their plans. We did have a conversation a couple days ago with them, a few of us on the committee, and it appears that they're on board that we could essentially move that festival to this building, to this property. I just want to make sure that everyone's clear that that's our intention. Of course, we will always come up with a backup plan, and Mike Costa may be able to add a little more insight as he's on the committee as well. But I look for consensus for the fact that we just want to continue to operate that fest. I think it's a very successful fest, and I think the community enjoys it, so I hope the board will support that.
And to just, if I could, I'm sorry, if I could, just to add to Trustee Caprio's report, is we anticipated this happening about 1.5 years ago, so since then we've gotten costs for generators and things of that nature and different tents so that we don't do any damage to our property and we have proper power. What we're looking at doing is this would be an additional cost for a year with anticipation that in 2018 that the park would be developed with a pavilion and some power out there to use, so those generator costs and things would go away. At this time, we try to get the site ready with the power that we need, water, and things of that nature. There's just no time left in the year and no time in the spring to do this. So our plan was, one of our plans was, as Carlo Caprio said, move to the west lot, and then to the north of that, put a pad, which is going to be gravel. And then, of course, it's not only being put in for the fest, that gravel area would act as a parking lot for the park in the future, to hold other events and for the community to, have additional parking. It's a little closer to parking instead of parking in front. So we do have some preliminary numbers. We just need to get a consensus from the board which way we're going to go with this and what we have to do, because believe it or not, time is running out, and June comes pretty early when you're trying to plan or change something as drastic as we are moving the whole fest. So we have been working hard at getting preliminary numbers. We just need the board's consensus if this is something that we can do.
Thanks, Mike. Carly, you also?
That concludes what I need to say. I just don't know what process we need to go through to understand.
Two things. Is that door open for a reason?
It was hot.
Okay, because I'm getting actually work on this too. Trustee, please.
Yes. Oh, are we doing the consensus first, or everybody agrees? This is.
How about we go through this and let consensus?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mayor. Reporting for the Environment Committee. Our Environment Committee was contacted by Ms. Lugo, who works in the Teen Program Department at Adler Planetarium. They are working on a light pollution awareness project with high school students in Chicago and expressed interest in bringing some students to one of our future stargazing events. Bringing some students to our future stargazing event. They are hoping to look at the night sky and collect information by using the Loss of the Night phone app. They said they would not be able to come in October, but they're looking for early next year. The Community and Nature Award ceremony will take place at the next board meeting on September 28th at 7 p.m. And the next stargazing event will take place on Friday, October 7th from 8 to 10 p.m. at the Treantafeles Farm. Reporting for the Homer Harvest Day Committee. Well, another Homer Harvest Days event is now history. The weather held for most of the event, and I do believe everyone had a good time. High Cotton entertained on Saturday, Miles Over Mountains on Sunday, and Innisfree throughout the weekend. The committee would like to thank again our 2016 sponsors, Kono's Corn Maze, New Way Disposal, Ozinga, Sitco, Silver Cross, Benston's Pumpkin Farm, Kurt's German Auto Works, Animal Care Clinic, Nick's Barbecue, Home Depot, Will Cook Ace Hardware, and Countryside Bank. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Sweet. Trustee Rogers? Trustee Costa?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief reminder and probably an observation that we've all noticed in the community. But, with the end of the construction season coming here pretty soon, I think we've all noticed that the work being done on 159th, they probably heightened the amount that they're doing and have certainly opened up a couple more fronts on what they're in the areas that they're trying to get ready for winter. There's some temporary, stopping, flagging out there, stopping traffic along 159th. There's also some temporary lane shifting that's been going on. So please be careful when you're driving around 159th Street. Be ready for something unexpected that you maybe didn't see there yesterday. Also, we probably noticed an increase on some of the other east-west roads like 151st and 143rd, especially during rush hour between 4 and 6, 4 and 7 at night. I know at 143rd and Bell, the last couple of weeks, waiting to turn west onto 143rd between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. I can't remember the last time we've had traffic backed up in the intersection because of the light at the to get into the shopping center. So just be aware of that. Be careful. Watch the traffic and drive safely out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Costa. Trustee Drake?
And nothing to report.
Trustee Burry?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick report from Community and Economic Development. We met last evening for our September meeting. We had our third round of orientation for the members. That presentation provided by Jamie Patch went over some of the challenges we have in recruiting retail and commercial development in town. We had a brief discussion on potential AED ordinance, and then we also discussed some things dealing with the gaming moratorium. There was no action taken. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Berry. Do we have a treasurer's report?
No report.
Madam Clerk?
I just want to thank Elena Bowes for stepping in for me during the month of August. We had a lot going on. She did a great job. Just want to thank her.
Thank you. Village Attorney?
No report, Your Honor.
Thank Thank you. Public safety officials? Village manager?
No report.
Just give me a quick one. Public comment is next. We'd like to keep the 3 minutes, but if it takes longer, it takes longer. First one will be Marvin Pickering.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. I gave you a handout a moment ago. What prompted this is I come out when areas are threatened with flood and property damage. We got a notice in the paper regarding the plans for the bike trail and Veterans Memorial Trail, many other trails. And as I looked into this, they also said that public comments were due September 30th. That's on their website. And that the county board, which is the same as the Forest Preserve Board, will vote on this plan in November. What's the rush job? And so I had asked, when I knew they were going to put this trail by Fittimet Creek, by the bridge on I-355, to be notified. Because Fittimet Creek is a tiger. It's a flash creek. It ripped out the bridge over there on Farrell Road and left people stranded there for quite a time. And it's got quite a reputation for carrying cars, doing things, and destroying farmers' fields. This time, I think it's real serious if they put one of those little wooden bridges. Because Fittimet Creek will take that little bridge and block the passageway down there by the I-355 bridge. It ripped up the bridge at Farrell Road, and if they stick one of those little bridges you see in the Forest Preserve there, we got big trouble, okay? We also have other issues, as I pointed out. We've got the widening of 159th Street. If that was a subdivision, they'd have to have some retention bonds. But we're not getting a retention as far as I can see. Then, I had to pin the tollway down a few years back, that when we had massive flooding and Mr. Haynes lost his swimming pool, Carrera lost his alfalfa seed, and Lockport was almost swamped when their retention ponds on the west side of 355 were almost undermined and would have turned loose all of that water. And so we finally got the chief engineer for the whole tollway, not just this project, the whole tollway, who came in and said, hey, that contractor didn't have a permit for those culverts, which backed up the creek and caused a lot of trouble. What he didn't mention is, what about the pond lottery? We had a lottery. When is that pond's going to collapse? What's this? The chief engineer for 355 had to admit what Marvin was talking about is that they left out a tributary in their calculations for that bridge. What's that important about? Now, if you look at 147th and Gallagher, you got all those warehouses that have covered up the surface. And that was a tributary north of the creek. Not calculated. So look out. We've got more water coming from 159th, more water coming from the 147th warehouse area. And now Lockport wants to another warehouse development on 7th Street, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we got a lot of water coming, we got problems coming there. And I think you would send a letter perhaps reminding the Forest Preserve that they should not block the creeks with their culverts, their little bridges, particularly Fittimet Creek, because it's a tiger. That bridge on Farrell Road is just a half a mile from the bridge on 355, and it ripped it out of there. So, thank you for your attention. I hope you tell the Forest Preserve, hey, let's not block the streams with your little bridges. Thank you. One other point, you're invited. We're having a meeting September 25th at the Town Hall. regarding many of these issues, pictures, etc. And it's kind of invitation to people on Galver Road and Shady Lane. I hope we don't lose Shady Lane, but I think we will. Thank you.
Next will be John Boyd.
I was reading in the paper that our grammar school in 33C is having a board meeting and voting on a budget. Part of the budget is under budget, part of the budget is over budget, is what some of what I read. Now, whether that be true or not, I don't know. The only problem is, why does the school district 33C have to have their meeting for this vote the same night as we're holding the village board meeting? The next board meeting and this meeting is the same night. Something should be done that, you know, people can't make both meetings. And a lot of people, and especially our board members and people that do have a little say-so in some of this stuff, should, or somebody should be sent there as a representative to see what they say and what they're going to pass here. Because I mean, it's ridiculous what they're, you know, what we're going through with them. And then I read in the paper about all these colleges putting additions on and that. And then I said, then I look at there and I said, oh, here's another one of ours. Joliet Junior College continues the process on major construction projects. Well, the junior college now, they got their master plan is out. They're going to re-renovate the Renaissance Center. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's downtown Joliet. Why does the college need an old rundown building downtown Joliet? Because it's a Renaissance Center, I guess. Anyway, then they have another building, Romeoville. They want to expand it. Then they got JJC Event Center. Okay, that was a multi-purpose facility, but they didn't care the way it was built, so now they're going to renovate it. Then all of a sudden, City Campus, downtown Joliet, near the college's Renaissance Center. I don't know why they're buying all these properties downtown Joliet. Is there a reason? I don't know. I have never gone to one of their meetings. And then, like I say, they got 5 different things going on and nothing but money. Where are they going to get it from? Guess who? Will County taxpayers. That's us again. Schools are getting a little bit ridiculous. There was 5 other articles in 4 days. And out of them 5 other articles, if somebody wants to see them, I have them. They, with, what is it, ITT and all of them, that are going defunct and they're, you know, they can't even open their doors. But these people have got all kinds of money to be thrown out to 5 different projects. I don't think that's proper, especially in this time of day and age. All right, and somebody should represent us at 33C that carries a little bit of weight, that all of a sudden, like when last 2 times I won, I got up and stood there, and then before I even could say exactly, get about a minute and a half, they say, oh, your 3 minutes are up, and I told them it wasn't, but anyway, I finished what I had to say. They didn't want me up there. Yeah. Anyway, 159th Street, turn signals. You're going east, right down on Bell Road. You're coming from the west, between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, then turn signals. Do not turn except on arrow only. That's crazy they put that up there, because then sometimes you got to sit there for almost a light and a half or 2 lights. There were cars along there that were backed up where the cars going east couldn't go east because there were so many cars backed up trying to make that left turn. Somebody ought to go there and take a look at that. I don't know who, but like I say, somebody should go and make sure that some of them signs should be totally taken down. There's just out of place. I've noticed today, because I took a ride there, every one of the intersections on 159th Street, no turn except on green arrow only. Half the time there aren't cars coming where the person could make the turn. Why wait for another light? Crazy. You're talking 151st Street. On my way, a couple days ago, mailman was in front of me. Mailman dropping, there's only 3 or 4 mailboxes on 151st Street between Bell Road and Parker. They're on the north side of the street. The traffic was 30 cars because they couldn't get around the mailman. Their mailboxes should actually be moved over next to the driveway where the mailman could pull in a little bit out of the driveway to get out of the street. I don't know if this was a rookie driver with the mail delivery, but it was ridiculous that he had to sit in the street and block 30 cars of traffic from passing. That's it. Thanks.
Thanks, John. Okay, the next one, I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure of the name. Address is 13885 Penny Lane, number 1.
138?
13885 Penny Lane, Homer Glen.
Yes.
What is the first name?
Jordan. Georges. All right.
Thank you. Go ahead. Are you here to speak, or you're here for one of the things on the agenda?
One of the agenda.
Okay, then when we get to it, we'll call you up to the mic then. Thank you. Jim,
Yes. On the same way.
same thing?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Ken.
Yes, I'm with Jordan.
Okay, you're right. And Ken Crick.
There's 2 Kens?
I apologize, I just can't read that.
Somebody on Wilcook Road?
Wilcook Road, one on 16443 Hills.
16W143 Hillside Lane?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that's
Okay.
Ken.
All right, so you're all together, so you're, okay, we're set with public hearing. Did anyone else have anything to come up for? Okay. Next will be legislation, action, and, legislation and action items. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 16-037, an ordinance granting a variance to reduce required sign setback from 15 feet to 11 feet, 220-105F, Third Code of the Village of Homer Glen for certain real property located at 12261 West 159th Street in Homer Glen, Illinois. Helen Owens, DBA, Homer Chiropractic Clinic.
So moved. Second.
So it would be Trustee Rogers and Trustee Trekkie. Is there any discussion? No discussion? Okay. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Peterson? Aye.
Number 2, is there a motion to approve ordinance number 16-038, an ordinance granting approval of 1A, a variance to reduce the required sign setback from 15 feet to 2 feet, 2, a variance to increase the allowable number of tenant names panel from 4 to 5 for a proposed freestanding commercial sign, and 3, a variance to waive the requirement that the predominant construction material for the proposed freestanding commercial sign shall be masonry or stone for certain real property located at 14302, 14330 South Wilcook Road, Homer Glen, Illinois, Lunar Management Incorporated.
So moved.
Trustee
I'll
Costa.
second.
Trustee Caprio. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
I think he was going to bring some material, samples of material that he's proposing.
Can I?
Yeah. you on this here, or did you want trustees to ask you questions?
First, can I say something about the material?
Sure.
The good thing about this is doesn't crack, doesn't settle like brick or concrete. It's not flammable. This is going to look like a brick. Nobody's going to be able to tell from a street that it's not brick. Just like the one at the church, Greek Orthodox Church on Bell Road. And,
Well, the product has been used in the construction industry for years. Right now, they've been using it in sign industry because we're able to route it. The sign right behind you, it can actually be made to look like that. It lasts outdoors forever. There's no really, it's like styrofoam. It's one of that type of product. It's not flammable. So we've been using it in the sign industry for years, and right now in the Homer Glen area, I think there's quite a few signs that have it on their base.
Is it greasable? I mean, if you
Is it
throw
what?
something at it, is it going to dent?
Well, aluminum sign will dent if you throw something at it, right?
If, well, yeah.
No, it's
River
a,
concrete does not.
Yeah, right.
okay,
That's
so-
like,
That's what you're doing.
But here's what it is. This is an unfinished product. Right now, it's in raw form. Once it's finished with the paint and sealant, it's a surface that's not going to dent. So again, it's been used in the Homer Glen area, and we're just trying to use it on this construction project right here.
and also it's going to look just like the color of the brick that is on a building right now.
Right, you could do a color match to this with natural brick, or you can't. You can get close. Any questions from you?
Sure. Do you have anything?
Well, after seeing it, I think it's not, I don't think it's what we are looking for. The church that you mentioned, that was supposed to be a temporary sign because they were supposed to be moving, and that still may be the case in the future. It's not something that I would like to see as bases in our village.
I would agree. I'd have to see where it qualifies for a variance and not under the definition.
Of being a hardship.
Correct.
Anyone else?
How have other signs got the approval to use it?
I didn't hear you, sorry.
How have other signs in Homer Glen got the approval to use it?
I do not know of any other sign beside the church, unless they,
The Ace Hardware across the street from the Richards Supply, the school that's just the, what is it, on 159th and Wilcook Road, sunny days. Those
The
bases,
kindergarten
they're
school.
full faces.
Sandbox. It doesn't look anything like a sandbox.
Because it's in its raw state, it hasn't
Right,
been
and I think
built
that's why
around.
we were hoping you were going to bring a sample so we could have a better understanding of what you were looking for. Your renderings and that sample looks nothing like the sandbox.
I'll make the sign and bring it in, how about that?
You could come back and ask.
Yeah.
They're not going to make the material the way we want it. Who's going to pay for it? I mean, we have example of a lot of signs in here. And this sign is going to be stereo because it's going to be 2 6 inches metal pipes going to be pounding like 5 feet into the ground, which the sign at the Orthodox Church is 1 pole.
You're comparing it to the Orthodox Church, and I think we've explained that that was something that was put there temporary. The Orthodox Church was in the process of moving. When that was.
When they
that
will
was-
move.
I don't know the exact date.
But they're not moving. He is one of the people that knows the people there.
Okay.
He's
In
great.
my opinion, it doesn't, if you look up the definition of a variance, it doesn't qualify. There's no hardship.
Okay. I don't know. In that case, forget this material. What I'll do, we're going to make the sign like Richard, like the kindergarten place, across the street, the hardware store, and I will put the thin stone real, they call it clean stone, real, I will put it instead of this. How is that?
You have to submit plans, but I,
Stone is stone.
right,
Stone.
Whether it's thin or thick, I think stone is stone.
It's going to be real stone.
Mike?
Just to clarify and add to the conversation, the Richard sign came up as one example. I looked through those plans today and I looked at them in the past. That kind of predates, that project predates me. Those plans didn't label the material, so I'm not doubting what he's saying, that it could possibly be this type of a urethane or man-made material. But I don't have anything to prove that, so I have to actually go and inspect that sign. The sandbox school that has come up a few times, the Plan Commission tonight as well, that in fact is a stone veneer. It's not stacked stone or masonry. The ordinance says stone or masonry, and I think loosely interpreted that would allow those veneer type products as well. But this material, we wanted to bring it forward to you because the only one that I'm aware of for sure is the Assumption Greek Orthodox Church, which was mentioned this evening. And that's why we included the photograph in your packet.
So Mike, the thin brick that he's talking about would qualify for the ordinance. It's the veneer.
My interpretation, the thing about our sign ordinance, it didn't say what type of construction. It just says stone or masonry material. And it makes sense that we would allow the veneer products because we do allow them in homes. They have to meet a certain standard for house, for construction standards. But that's been our interpretation, is it's more of a veneer material, but it is a stone material or a masonry material.
All right, masonry that they put on top of what he has in his hand, or is it something that,
No, they typically, in those kind of instances, there's a base that's, I don't know if it's a steel or fabricated, a wood construction, and then they add the stone like a veneer material to it. And unless you knew that it was a veneer, it looks like a stone or a brick column. Because my understanding of the ordinance, and I wasn't here when it was written, but my interpretation and understanding is that it's for aesthetic purposes as well as durability. But it's not. Some of those signs that are newer of the veneer material, they're not solid masonry, stacked type masonry.
right?
I should have made it clear. The frame of the sign, it will be metal. The box is going to be metal. They're going to put the pipe, pound them in 5 feet. They're going to weld a frame. This is just like 3 feet from the ground. That's it. It's not.
Well, we've got the picture of the Assumption Greek Church one right here.
Right.
All right. Is the column, that's probably the veneer, correct?
Assumption is this more of a poly or a urethane type material.
It's the same material like this, for sure.
No, is the columns the same thing?
Yes. Yes. They just make them look like a stone or brick or whatever you want to make them look like. But this is just for like 3 feet high from the ground. That's all.
The ordinance says stone or masonry, and we don't, on variances, we have kind of pulled away from giving a recommendation because my charge is kind of enforcing the code, so the answer is follow the ordinance, and that's why we kind of defer to the Plan Commission. The Plan Commission recommendation on this particular item, there's 3 variances being requested: setback, panel number, and then material. On the material variance, it was a 5-2 vote, I would. 4-2 vote. So there were 2 commissioners who did not support, but it was a favorable recommendation.
So this is almost a stucco type
Yes.
effect.
No.
Well, it's harder than the stucco. Stucco is a foam you see how
It's not a stucco. This surface here comes.
That particularly is not, but what you place over.
No, this is going to be.
No, this gets placed on a flatbed CNC machine. We take a picture of a brick wall. We impose that onto this. The CNC machines make a brick panel. You take that panel and you mount it to your aluminum structure that is already into the ground, and then you have a fake wall.
But the sign, it's a metal sign. It's a heavy-duty construction.
But the variance Variances are for true hardship cases. Now, I would be happy with the stone veneer. I can't support.
Okay.
Well, that's my.
No problem.
That's
If-
my thought of
But
that.
again, oh, that's fine. That's what I'll put there.
You know, I've seen, actually, I don't know how new the product is, but I've seen this product used in the industry probably more and more now, only because of the, I think the durability of it, number one, and it gives the owner some latitude of making different patterns and things, but the first couple times I saw it, I actually had to walk up to it and touch it to see it. It looks like brick. I have not seen it in place for any length of time to see how it holds up, but from what I understand, it's a pretty durable product and holds up quite well with weather in our area. So this is another one of the issues or items that come up. That's something relatively new that's being marketed. And no matter how the outcome of this is, if the gentleman is going to put the veneer or if we allow this to happen, I think we should relook at the ordinance, see if this is something in the future that we can add to the ordinance. Because like anything else, as new products come up in the industry that are more durable, more cost effective, and really, and again, unless you really walked up to this and touched it, you wouldn't tell if it's brick or not.
It's the same thing with the assumption, sure.
Right. So either way, I think we should revisit the ordinance to see if there's anything we can do to change it or modify it. It's up to the board if they want to or not, but again, it's a newer product out, it's going to come in front of us more and more.
And that's why we wanted to bring it forward as a variance, even knowing that the assumption did not, that was kind of the initial one. We wanted to formalize this and get the board's feedback on this material.
What about base road service sign item?
I'm not familiar with that because it predates my time here, but I could certainly look at it and investigate that.
Can we maybe table this motion while we figure some of this out, right? I mean, I agree with trustees Sweets and Rogers, but I also want to be consistent. And if for some reason we've approved, and there are existing signs that we've approved that have a similar material, I think maybe we still need to do some homework on this, it sounds like to me.
Is there a rush on your sign?
No.
If you could wait.
This is the third time we come to here for the sign. It's getting,
Well,
To the planning commission, you're not here.
twice the planning commission because there was a mailing issue, but third meeting.
I personally don't have a problem with it. I mean, I think it looks like stone. I didn't even
Okay.
know that one that we're seeing, it doesn't look like it. I guess my question would be, Mike, is it, what is the reasoning why we want the veneer look? I mean, is it just because of the look? or is it
I think from kind of looking back at the ordinance that was just adopted, or amended, I should say, updated in like 2013, it's probably for both aesthetics and durability, but more for the aesthetics, so you can kind of match the base of the building with the color of the building. The ones that the other one that came up, the sandbox, I looked at those plans, those were a veneer type, a brick veneer material. So you went up to it, knocked on it, it feels like stone or brick, but it's a thin, it's not a full brick stacked with on a foundation.
Do you know what the lifetime guarantee is on that, or do you have any?
it's lifetime.
It's lifetime, so if it starts to chip, wear, extend, ruin, looks terrible, doesn't look like it's brick anymore, is it replaceable?
Yes. Everything's replaceable.
But
One of the other reasons a lot of consumers are using it is for cost. This, based against the construction of a brick base, consists of a concrete base on top of stone with brick on top of that where you have masonry involved. The cost for that type of base is much more than this. Yet this gives the same look, saves the consumer some money that he can put towards his building.
before I called Ken, I called two other contractors for sign. None of them didn't want to do the traditional. Besides, he said you're going to pay twice the amount that this sign do. Another thing, the sandbox sign is identical like the one we're going to build. The only thing they have different is this material.
And you're saying it's 3 feet off the ground?
Maybe not even 3. I don't know, maybe 3.
What is the rest of the
It's
sign?
going to be 24.
It's a metal,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
metal sign.
I mean, I went and touched St. Paul's, and I went to touch Orthodox, and it's different. When you get one, they're different. So I would say, I would agree with trustee Barry, that we table it. If he's not willing to, if he's not willing to accept it the way that we've always approved him in the past, like the St. Paul's one, then I say we table it. When we look harder at this material, that's material, you know, is gonna tell you anything.
I'm just saying, I don't know, touching people besides us go and touch
I
signs.
did it
They
because
all
it was
look the
the
same.
same.
Right, I'm saying you're trustees, you obviously need time to go out there, but.
Where this sign is gonna be at in the parking lot, the plows, the snow, all that other stuff I've dealt with, like a driving type of material before, and they,
It's gonna be 20 feet, probably about 20 feet from the concrete.
This is not a dry material, that's confusing. This is a solid urethane, high-density material. Dry-fit is put over a very porous stucco over a chicken wire grate. So please don't confuse this with getting hit by a stone or a snow.
I touched them both, I get it, I understand that, so what I'm saying is, I agree with what trustee Barron is saying. If he's looking to do this and he's looking for a variance, he needs a variance obviously because of cost, that's what he's saying. That doesn't qualify. So we could look at the ordinance again and see if this falls underneath there, but it doesn't qualify for a variance because it's a more expensive sign.
So I think the thing for me is consistency, right? And that's the question that I guess I don't have answered right now is, have we approved this in the past? I don't know that answer. I don't know if there would be I also am sensitive to this being the third time dealing with a sign and certainly wanting to be streamline that process piece. So I'm certainly sensitive to that. I don't know if so for me, I don't know if there's a comfort level that if we were able to verify there are existing signs that we've approved with a similar material, then I could be supportive of a motion pending that where we don't have to come back and deal with it, right? And this can move forward. My issue is consistency. So I don't want to blaze a new trail when we haven't done our homework to see whether if these existing signs are out there.
But
We know of one, for sure, and that's the Assumption Church.
Which is under a little bit of a different situation of when it was passed, it was temporary.
Yeah, again, that one was before my time, and what I'm hearing is that was intended to be temporary.
Okay.
And how long ago was that?
good.
They're not going anywhere.
Well, at the time,
Ms. Sheriff.
at the time when this came up, it was, that was a temporary location for them.
But
And
it's
that's
still
why
not,
it passed.
they are there already, and still, they are not moving anywhere.
Well,
But besides, the sheriff, when you're saying that the cost is not, it shouldn't be reason for not doing it.
no, that was trustee Rogers was talking to you. I didn't.
Oh, your names are switched on your.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, who did that?
You gotta understand that the cost, it should
Okay, but it's, no, but what I have to look at it is not, I understand.
2008, we lost 2 tenants in our, we got killed. But we never went to lower the taxes. So don't tell me that the cost doesn't matter.
If I could just so you understand, I own about 15 shopping centers. I built these things for the past 15
So did
years.
I. We
have
built that.
tenants, I understand it. My job is to say, does this qualify for a variance under what is given to me?
Fine, we're not gonna use this material. I'm gonna put the stone, the thin stone they call it, or it's a real stone. I will put it.
Excuse me, just one second.
What now?
How do we have a gas station sign on 159th and Bell Road that's a vinyl sticker of bricks for Shell gas station? How do we have that in the village?
And it's a 6 months old.
It's an aluminum sign square, and it's a vinyl wrap of bricks. How did that get passed?
You'd have to identify which project it is.
Shell. gas station.
159, where they moved their sign on 159th and Shell.
That one was reviewed by us, and that met the requirements, so.
Vinyl, it's a vinyl.
It's not a vinyl. I will look
Yes,
at
it
it, I
is.
will look at it.
Let's
Yes,
go,
it is.
we can go there right now. It's a vinyl sticker on an aluminum sign that looks like brick.
Can I just step in for 1 second? I understand that you're frustrated, and I do appreciate you coming in here. I think the best option right now would be to table this at this time. I know that you're upset about coming back a few times, but I think if we just do a little bit of research, we may be able to approve this and just...
Forget this. I'm not coming back again.
Mayor,
You're making it so hard.
Here, let's call a vote on it. No, it's an argument.
Mayor, let me just ask one question. Can the petitioner give me an idea of the time frame it takes to construct the sign? Is it longer than 2 weeks?
Yes.
So might I suggest that the board consider options 1 and 2 tonight, give staff another week and a half to research comparable communities on materials, and then at least you can get going, assuming they approve items 1 and 2, on at least the physical construction of that, and we can get back to you at the second meeting on the materials for the brick. Is that a possible option?
No, unfortunately not. We need either an approval or we need a direction to go towards. Because you can't start a sign constructed one way and then have it not approved for the construction, we have to change the whole sign. Makes sense. So basically what we really need is which direction the city's going to vote towards with any other material than the masonry bases that are used with the concrete base, because that's required. If you're going to allow the aluminum sign to be vinyl wrapped to make it look like a brick wall, or if we're going to allow a man-made material that has a long life and it's, flammable, it's not flammable. So we're going to need your answer on those questions.
We all agree that we want you to be able to move on this. So all I'm saying right now is we'll go for a vote. If the vote passes, you can do what you want to do. If the vote doesn't pass, you can do what you want to do, but put the veneer on the outside.
Again, forget this material. I will put thin stone, real stone.
Then we'll take the vote on replacing it with veneer on the outside.
Okay.
Can we have that? Can that go in front of the board tonight?
We need to amend, but right now there's a motion out there to include items, that third item.
We have veneer brick in it, right?
So you need to, whoever made the motion needs to amend the motion that would eliminate the third aspect of the variance.
Trustee Costa and Trustee Caprio.
I'll amend the motion.
I'll second the amendment to the motion.
All right,
Can I ask a question though? Can we still do research on this type of?
we're still going to do the research on it because this is ridiculous, actually, that this man's going through it.
Right, and that's
That's
what
why
I'm
I'd like
saying
to
is-
call a vote for the original, but you guys do it later on. We are going with veneer on the outside then? Because that's what they said.
So we're just striking through, so what it is, the motion to approve the ordinance with two variances. One is to reduce the setback, and second to allow the number of tenant name panels. The third variance that has been considered as being eliminated from the ordinance.
Eliminated from the ordinance.
Right. So you would have to do the veneer. Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Nancy Trojki?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Motion carries. You can build the sign, but you have to use a veneer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 3, consider for approval of ordinance number 16-039, an ordinance granting approval of a variance to reduce the required setback from 15 feet to 2 feet for a certain real property located at 125. Yeah, 12542 and 12550 West 159th Street, Glen, Illinois. Various Marcus. All right. One 2542, 12550 West 159th Street, Glen, Illinois. There's Marcus. There's a motion.
That's a move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion.
I just have a quick question for Director Schwartz. Have we done up to 2 feet before? Because it's going down to 2 feet. I've seen some here at 3 and 4.
We had just earlier, just the last item on the agenda.
We just the last one we did it, so, yeah. that's-
But also, I believe sandbox, my memory is fuzzy on that, but it's either 3 or 4 feet for sandbox.
If I could please, I believe, yeah, when you were reading that, actually the ordinance reads, what you read, reads South Wolcott Road, and I believe it should be west of 159th Street.
And that's what I read, this last time.
Okay, just make sure it is 159th, so that's just a maintenance item in the body of the ordinance. The body of the motion, just.
All right, any discussion, any other discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy Tracy? Aye. Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the invoice for Village Hall roof repairs from Nick Treantafeles in the amount of $8,860?
I so move.
On this, just so everyone knows, when they were working on the building, they found some leaks. Actually, in this section and the section on the other side of the old pro shop. We had a company come out and give us a quote. They wanted $19,000 to fix this side. We decided we're not going to go off of these. We have people that live here in the village that do work. So we went to one of the residents in the village, asked him to give us a quote. He does roofs for a living. He gave me a quote of $8,860 and told me he's doing both sides. So what it cost us $40,000, we got it done for $8,800. So with that being said, is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy Tracy? Aye. Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 5, is there a motion for the board, are there 2 motions for the board's consideration? Is there a motion to approve a proposal from Christopher B. Burke, Engineering Limited, for the engineering-related services to the design and preparation of construction documents for 2016 drainage improvements, project number 1, for a not-to-exceed amount of $24,200?
So moved.
Trustee Costa? Second. Trustee Caprio, is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Nancy Tracy? Aye.
Motion carries. B, this is the second motion. Is there a motion to approve the proposal from HR Green for engineering services related to the design and preparation of construction documents for 2016 drainage improvement project number 2, A through D, for a not-to-exceed amount of $29,929?
I so move.
Trustee Caprio?
Second.
Trustee Varian, any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Nancy Tracy? Aye. Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 6, is there a motion to approve the July 2016 Mahoney Silverman and Cross legal bills in the amount of $3,361.25?
So moved.
Trustee Costa?
Second.
Trustee Berry, any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy Tracy? Aye.
Motion carries. Number 7, is there a motion to approve Triad Architecture's invoice for professional services related to the Village Hall renovation project in the total amount of $4,817.22?
So move.
Trustee Caprio?
Second.
Trustee Tracy, is there discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Nancy Tracy? Aye. Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve PRI's July invoices for professional services related to the master park development plan for the village's Heritage Park in the amount of $8,605.55.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Trustee Sweet, trustee Trichy. Okay, is there any discussion?
No, I just wanted to mention that most of that was, they worked on the 319 grant. That was most of the invoicing, so we'll see what happens. We get that.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Sweet? Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Nestor-Turkey? Aye. Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the village's August professional services invoices for village hall renovations from True Contracting, Inc. in the amount of $33,774.08?
So moved.
Trustee Costa?
I'll second.
Trustee Sweet, discussion?
I just have a quick question, Mayor. Do they have any other major projects, or it's just small ones that they have to finish?
They have a few small ones to finish, and we're still sitting on $196,000. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Nestor-Turkey?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the full-time deputy clerk job description and salary range of $54,849.91 to $64,849.91? It is understood that if approved, village staff will immediately start the hiring process.
So moved.
I would say trustee Caprio got it on first.
I'll second.
Costas is second. Is there discussion?
I have a couple questions.
Amy, go ahead.
The previous deputy clerk, what was her salary when she left?
53,000 something.
And how
Her
many?
salary when she left was $53,040.
I'm sorry?
$53,040.
Yes.
And how many years did she work here?
She was here for a year and a half in that position.
In that position? And what about was there a position, what was the salary for the position prior to that?
The position prior to that, she...
Not hers, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. What was the salary for the person who had a position prior to that?
I can't say, exactly, but I want to say it was approximately like 54,000.
My only question is that we brought this up at A&F, and the range that I was agreeable to was 53 to 63. I know that's what county pays and change. I don't know how the board feels, but that's the amount that I was assuming that we would be going on. With the understanding that the former deputy clerk left at 53,000 with a year tenure. So I'm okay with agreeing with the 53 to 63. I know it's only a $1,800 difference in salary, and it's a $10,000 spread. I feel that's fair in doing the numbers. I read the numbers, and I thought they were fairly accurate. So I don't know if anybody else is agreeable to that. Or...
That was my understanding of the discussion that we had, that we were going to start at 53 and go from there.
I was also at the A&M meeting, and I thought it was 53 as well. But I'm still not in agreement to 53. I'd like it to be more around 50. That's my personal thought.
I'll make a motion 53 to 63.
Well, we have a motion.
So there's already a motion up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so this is just discussion right now.
Yes.
So if everyone's in agreement to that, we'll change the motion and we can approve it.
Well, better motion.
I will give a motion
All right, to
to be 53,000 to 63,000 annual salary for the deputy clerk position.
Then I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Nestor-Turkey?
No.
Okay, motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the revised Village of Home and Glen organizational chart?
I so move.
Trustee Sweet?
A second.
Trustee Caprio? Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Nestor-Turkey?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the attached proclamation designating September 12th through 16th, 2016 as Chamber of Commerce Week in the Village of Homer Glen?
I so move.
Trustee Suisse?
Second.
Trustee Costa? Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Swiderski?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next one is a little different. Is there a motion to approve the attached proclamation designating September 26th through October 2nd as Diaper Need Awareness Week in the Village of Homer Glen? And before everyone starts laughing, we had a company call us, not a diaper company, but a company that helps out basically a lot of very single young women with children. And the cost of diapers is astronomical. So I don't see a problem with supporting the idea that if they need some help, we can help them out. So with that being said, I need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Trustee Costa? Trustee Tracy. Is there any discussion?
Just one question. In what way are we going to...
No, they're not for me.
In what way are we going to help them out? I mean, I've got nieces and nephews, great nieces and great nephews that have had children the past year, and actually for birthdays and things, they said, what do the kids need? They said, buy me diapers, because they are expensive. In what way are we going to help? I mean, the proclamation doesn't know anything.
Well, the proclamation will go out there, and we are going to have, ladies going to contact us from the company that called, and we'll see if we can develop them out.
Very good.
Trustee Costa, there is also an event on September 25th, Sunday, at Bourbon Street in Marinette Park to support this cause.
Very good.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Swiderski?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve a proclamation in support of National Public Lands Day and designating September 24th, 2016 as Homer Glen Lands Day?
I so move.
Trustee Suisse?
I'll second.
Trustee Costa? Archer Caprio? Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to say a few things. The village celebrates Homer Glen Lands Day annually to show support for recognizing and protecting significant areas in the natural environment. Two special events commemorating this are coordinated by the village's Environment Committee. The first special event is the Community and Nature Awards, which will be on September 28th, and details of the second event, tree planting, will be provided at a future village board meeting. The village of Homer Glen was founded and incorporated in large part due to the desires of its citizens to preserve the unique and diverse components of the natural environment within the village, and we encourage all residents, to appreciate the diversity and quality of our natural environment and protect it. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Suisse. Is there any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Swiderski?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye. Motion carries. Last one. Is there a motion to approve the proposed village lighting code review by Dark Sky Partners in an amount not to exceed $3,400?
I so move.
Trustee Caprio?
I'll second.
Trustee Suisse? Any discussion?
Well, I just want to make a statement that this proposal is focusing on the clarification and simplification, and it's not, the intent is not to change the code, just to take a look at it and try to make it more clear.
Correct. And Trustee Suisse just got done saying we're not here to change it. We're here to make adjustments to it, to where things change. So is the Dark Sky community. So we're going to put a form and take a look to see if there's something that we're doing wrong to make it right. If there is, then they'll make the change and they're the ones that set it up. So with that is...
I think the intent on that, just so I'm clear, is we believe that that currently as drafted, that the ordinance may be overly complicated. That's feedback we're getting from people looking to open businesses in this town. I think that's what we've heard recently. This is an effort to simplify this code.
It's an effort to clarify some areas that are silent in the code. There's a couple areas as respect to the canopy requirements that staff has a different interpretation than the letter of the code that we believe needs clarification, and a couple other points that are not clarified in the code. So it won't completely address some of the nuances of the code that the business community feels is difficult, but it'll move us forward in the right direction.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Sweets?
Aye.
Trustee Variance?
Aye.
Trustee Deputy
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any old business?
Mayor, we never got clear consensus on the parade festival.
Okay, so let's, by a roll call, let's give consensus on moving, or at least get the ball rolling on moving the festival onto our property.
Is there a discussion?
Is there really good
We can't make the motion.
Right. All right, so
He's looking for consensus.
We're not voting.
Right, and so we need a
He said roll call.
There's no
No,
motion.
we couldn't.
No, we just need a consensus on this. So I figured if everyone's agreed to it, call the names out so at least we know what we've got. It's not a roll call, it's just,
I guess I would just want clarification on what we're consenting to. I mean,
What
it's
they're-
very, I mean, the only question I had,
Everything I said earlier.
I get that, but there was some things that you left out. Is there gonna be is it just for you to move forward to seek costs? I know Mike said he already had looked into costs, but is it a
We
done
don't
deal?
have costs.
We don't have costs. Is it a done deal if we don't move forward at the new park? Is the
There's a good chance we may not be able to host the fest on the township property. I don't have the complete answer to that. My preliminary thought is that it can't be hosted on the township property. And with the property for sale on the corner of 151st and Cream, it becomes a challenge. So our intention is to move it to this property, understanding that we're going to incur more costs, understanding that we're going to go out for donations to hopefully fund those costs, as we've done successfully in the past.
And understanding that we will vote on everything prior to.
Everything's got to be voted on. We have to vote on the budget
Just-
for it. So,
Just
yeah.
for.
We vote on the budget for it every year, so it's got to be voted on.
and we can't even do that until we get to the point where we have to bring this back.
We just need to get the wheels, I'm sorry, we need to get the wheels in motion, at least if we're going to consider it, to put that stone base down before the end of this year. If we don't have that carnival stone base set to the north of that west parking lot, we will not be able to do it in the spring, and we will not successfully be able to host that fest. So we just need to make a consensus decision as, if everyone's on board, we will continue our efforts in the research and hopefully the engineering to get that done.
I feel like I'm hearing two different things. I've always said I would consider moving it here. I'm not going to say, yeah, we're going to move it here without knowing how much it's going to cost. If it's going to hold up the development of Heritage Park. I would also like to know from the township why we can't have it there yet just one more year, so that we can get this park, work with PRI, get this park going. I understand it's for sale. It was for sale last year as well. We could have some kind of clause in there that indicates if there's a contract owner that they can't have the property until July 1st or whatever the day is after the fest. I'm not comfortable giving a consensus to moving it in 2017. I'm comfortable moving it in 2018 when we know how much this is going to cost. I mean, you're saying it's self-funded, but now there's going to be extra costs, it's going to cost us more. Do I in any way not want to have the fest? Absolutely not. I want the fest 100%. If the township comes to us and says, no way, you're not having it on our property, then it's very easy for me to give a consensus. Not knowing that that's not even an option, I'm not willing to say, gotta get the consensus to move in and get the ball moving, because what's gonna happen to Heritage Park? We don't know. You're saying not with PRI, what did PRI say? You know, is it gonna hold up any part of the band shell or anything else, or any of the other things that we've held up? There's just too many unknowns.
No, it would not.
There's 103 acres for them to work on. I'm sure we can get them working on areas that don't interact with the festival that we had in 2007.
And just so you know, after, when we had a discussion on the phone, and we had asked PRI to give us an idea if this could work, and they said, well, we have to stop what we're doing to do this. The village manager and myself talked afterwards. We're not going to hire PRI to do any engineering, any site work, anything on an area like that. We'll put it off to HR Green, because HR Green's already looked at the property. And like Trustee Caprio said, if we can't use the property, and it's not the townships, it's the highway departments.
The highway department owns that property?
The highway department bought that property.
You're correct.
So, yeah, and I know, and again,
Well, let me finish. If he says no, we can't do it. If we take a break between the festival for a year, festival's over.
I'm seeing,
So all I'm trying to say is all we're trying to do is get the ground done where we would put the carnival at, because that's the only thing that we have, it's the only thing we have to do. The beer tent and the food vendors will be on the driveway, so we don't have any worries there. So what we're looking at is having them dig down as far as they have to dig down to where they hit clay, bring some clay in, put some stone down, roll it, and leave it. If we decide later to change something, it's not that hard to change. We still plan on putting up a shelter, like a picnic shelter. We could put that right on top. It's not going to interfere anything with what we're doing in the park right now. So all it is, and like Trustee Costa had said, we have talked about this for over a year now. So it's not like this is brand new to anybody on this board. All we're trying to do right now is get it off the property, get it over here, because what it does do for us, it frees up the property that the township has. We still can park on the property to the east of that. If the guy doesn't sell the property on the west of it, which I highly doubt he'll sell it, because right now it wants $4.9 million for that corner, which is 5 acres, and boy, if he gets that, we're doing very well in this village. So if you are willing to, we can talk to Mike, and if Mike says we can have it, then there's no issue. We can push it off. If Mike says no, we need to go right away. So consensus is basically, if you agree that if Mike says no, we can move, and if Mike says yes, then we can hold off till next year.
But Mayor, it was my understanding, wasn't that, and maybe I'm wrong, wasn't the highway department, I thought, bought that piece of property for the purpose of events? That's what they...
No, not for the purpose of the purpose of the fest. It was for the purpose of him being able to grow his highway department. He needed it because at the time, the price was very good for that property. So he didn't buy it for the fest. He has allowed us to use this for the fest, but if he needs to grow, the only way he can go is he would have to go south. That would take up that area.
Also, James, let the board know, I hope there's no misunderstanding on when we say we're going to incur costs. The cost that the committee is talking about, preliminary numbers that we've gotten, is to incur costs for next year's fest. That's not going to be a cost that's going to be incurred every single year after that because we're moving it. For example, the site that we have right now, if everybody remembers 6-7 years ago, there were electrical poles put up there, transformers and power requirements are all figured into that. We don't have that on the site right now. So in order to put the fest here, and because the park has not been developed, there's no band shell, there's no pavilion, there's no power out there or anything, we have to bring in generators that are going to run pretty much 24 hours a day. We've got some of those costs already. They're about 1.5 years old. I can imagine they're probably going to go 5, 6, 7, 8%. But once we do, the park is developed, any money that's put into that is not going to be put into that for the fest. It is going to be for 4 days of the fest, but the other 361 days is for the rest of the community, for everything. So for an example, over here on the one hole that is back in the village hall, if we decide to put a band shell right there, facing out, then that's going to be used for the community all the time. The tent for the fest would be to the north of that, let's say, in the future, because then that will be leveled off. We will have adjacent to that power pavilion, things of that nature for food. So the fest committee isn't looking to put $100,000 or $200,000 into this park just for a 4-day event. For next year, the part that we need done is the area for the carnival to go on, because there's no way you can put a carnival on that grass. It will sink. When the fest is over, before the fest and after the fest, that will be a parking area for the future, for the whole park, for future events the rest of the year. The money we're talking about that may cost us initial for next year is going to be for generators, power sources, things of that nature. I can't remember the numbers exactly. We're looking at $15,000 or $20,000 possibly. We'd have to get those exact numbers and update them. And we haven't reached out to our suppliers yet and say, would you be willing to donate any part of that to us? We can't sit back right now for the next 2 or 3 months not knowing if it's going to move or not. We just want to see if the board will say yes. If it can't happen on the original site, we understand for next year there could be some cost for generators and additional equipment. Yes, let's do it, let's move it. So the committee can really research this. It's going to take us months. We're basically going to replan the logistics of this whole fest all over. Not only where the carnival is sitting and where we're going to get power from, but how we're going to get equipment in and out of there, how we're going to get food in and out of there, how we're going to get bands in and out of there. We have a lot of work to do. We just want to make sure we're not going to work hard at something and then 2 or 3 months down the road say, you know what, forget it, we don't want to have it. We want at least a consensus of the board saying, okay, you told us it's going to cost more, we understand it's going to cost more. We know now, or in a week, that we can't keep it where it was. We need to know so we can start next week getting our numbers together and planning this thing. It's going to be it's going to be a lot of work moving this fest.
We don't start looking bad at this point?
A lot. That's all we're looking for.
So with that being said, what's the consensus? Please call.
Just Caprio?
Can I just make one quick point, sorry? I concur. I think option 1 is let's talk to the highway commissioner, and I think that would be my preference if we can do that again 1 more year while we plan this. If that's not the case, then I don't think we can skip a year of an event that's this important to the community.
Right.
So,
And
but my preference would be option 1. If that's not the case, I think then I'm saying for me, let's go ahead.
Right, if the highway department has put us on notice that there's no way they're going to allow us to have a fest on there, I'm fine with it.
Well, he has put us on notice, but that doesn't mean you can't change this.
He's actually given us a written notice.
No, not written, just you say written.
Yes.
Verbal.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see, something in writing that says, no way you can't do it, so you guys take it on and I'm comfortable with that.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
I'm a member of the committee, and he stated, very frankly, prior to this past festival, so in 2015, that he would agree to 1 more year, which would be 2016, and that's it. It's in the meeting minutes, we can pull them up, but he's already said he's done.
The meeting minutes,
But he
or
does
what
change.
committee for the festival committee. And again, like I said, if he's willing to come right out and put us on written notice that says you cannot be here, then I'm absolutely for putting it over here.
All right, so Brian's already on board, but we will do first, I'll make a phone call tomorrow morning. Christine, anything you'd like to say and how you feel?
No, I'm okay.
Brian?
I concur with Mr. Barrett, Trustee Barrett, what he said. You know, if we can do it 1 more year, that's perfect. If that's going to cause more issues, let's go ahead.
I don't think it'll cause an issue. Oh,
You know.
it's just one question, it's going to be yes or no. So I don't think we'll have an issue. We'll be okay.
I say we go back to the old site.
All right, so you got that.
So you-
So, next is, item is executive session. Oh, new business.
Strike that from the minutes, by the way. I was just kidding.
Is there any new business? Okay. Now we're going to move into executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for
I'll make a motion.
discussing the acquisition?
Second.
Roll call. Any dis-
Costa?
Aye.
Mr. Caprio?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers? Aye. Mr. Stevens?
Aye.
Mr. Variance?
Aye.
Mr.